Welcome into a brand new episode of WSI TV. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back for another brand new episode of WSI TV. I'm Jordan Bishop, and this is Taylor Klinkbeil. How you doing, Taylor?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So before we get into the content of this week's episode, I must remind you to go over to WSITV.com, sign up for the Vault. You'll get all our free daily newsletters there. So let's jump head first into this, Taylor. We're talking about biotech here. Very complex industry, and there's a lot of talk about it leading up to the 2020 presidential election. So Taylor, if you could give a little background of how politics plays into this biotech sector.
Yeah, of course. So as we're heading into the 2020 campaign season, politicians on both sides of the political pulpit are coming forward with topics. Things are heating up, especially when it comes to industries. Big Pharma and biotech have definitely come to the front of this conversation. Both sides are actually calling for breakups in these industries because they're becoming too big. They think that they're hurting the American consumers. And so we're going to see how current policy that is trying to be pushed through both the White House and the legislation is going to impact the election and what people are going to say in the future about these.
Right, so it's kind of funny that you're going to get a bit of an agreement on this. I mean, of course, politicians will always find something to argue about, even if they're agreeing about something. But they are agreeing in different ways. They both have different bills, as Taylor mentioned. So really, this could be a hot topic for the 2020 election.
Definitely.
It could be a huge subject that you'll probably see in the news. Both candidates from both sides will probably run on this. So it's a very interesting one to watch out for here. Also, thinking about what's going to happen before the election, whether there is a big breakup or anything like that, would be it would be a good place to look. So. Let's talk about the actual sector. We're looking at these ETFs, these biotech ETFs. They're in distress. They've been coming down quite a bit. There have, of course, been a lot of scandals, right, Taylor, in the recent past?
Yes. So some big names in the industry have suffered kind of a public relations nightmare. We did have Bausch Health, which was recently rebranded due to such scandals to try and negate some of the bad press that was coming towards them. They had issues with accounting. There was a whole investigation into their accounting, and then there was also the prescription markups that they were purchasing prescriptions, marking up the prescription prices for the American consumer up to almost 800% in some cases. So they had quite a slap on the wrist in the past, and they're still trying to recover from this, and the rest of the sector has also been affected, of course.
I mean, that's huge, and nothing like a rebrand to brush the dust under the rug.
Yeah.
But this is massive because so there's a lot of these scandals going on, biotech's in distress, but it is a big part of our future. It is the way forward if we can get companies to be honest about what they're doing and not just be in it for the money. You know, there's still a lot of money to be made for them. There's a lot of money to be made for investors. But of course, we want to go about it the right way because biotech is here to help people live longer. It's here to help people overcome diseases that we've never been able to tackle in the past. But there has been a lot of smart money sales recently, and I'm sure that's so let's just talk about the smart money real quick. These are the insiders, the big investors, the people with the inside knowledge here, not necessarily illegally inside trading, but the people who are high up who are seeing this stuff firsthand. And if they're selling into it, it's bad news. So it means less funding for these companies. For the good companies who aren't going through these massive scandals, they're going to be less funded because they see biotech as a whole. They're just going to pull their money out. So that is there is a rocky road over the next probably decade, I would say, depending on how this election goes, depending on what bills get passed and what happens there. Of course, it's not over yet for these big companies. Now, Taylor, I know you brought this to my attention, but Pfizer just had an $11 billion cancer treatment acquisition. Can you talk a little bit about that and a little bit about its supporters?
Yes. Pfizer is the largest drug maker in the United States currently. They recently acquired Array Biopharma, which is a cancer treatment company, and they bought them out for $11 billion, which is obviously a huge number.
Right, massive.
So we're going to be seeing positive outlooks for both of those companies actually currently since that deal has closed. And in the future, we're going to see how they move forward in the industry altogether to create new treatment options for patients.
Right, and as we know, Pfizer's a big player. That's not the play we're looking at here. We do have something for you in the midst of all these scandals and all this news surrounding biotech. We're saying here, Big Pharma owes you money. Taylor, can you talk a little bit about how that works into this and the positive side of biotech for the viewers?
Yes, definitely. So Big Pharma is not all bad apples. We do have one in particular, a company that stood out to us because we wanted to see how you could possibly profit from what's going on in this sector right now. Autonomy Incorporated, under the ticker OTIC, they experienced a bit of a rough patch in August of 2017. They had some disappointing trial results back then, and the stock actually plummeted 82% in one day, which is that huge death drop in the middle of the chart here that you see. Since then, it was kind of on a steady decline, but in the recent past couple of months, it started leveling out, and we're actually looking to see some more positive signs for the price in the future. We've got this nice support and resistance zone over here in the bottom right corner, that if it breaks above that, it's going to be a very good sign for people buying into this. That's also just the technical side of things.
Right, of course. Yeah, and I'll just touch on that technical a little bit more before you jump in the news behind it. We're looking for this to break above about $3, and you can also use that red moving average, which is the red line there, to sort of guide the stock back up. Just because it dropped that much in one day doesn't mean it's completely down and out. Of course, it could rise that much. Biotech stocks are funny with the way they move. It could take one little piece of news to send it skyrocketing. So it's a great pick here. But why do you suspect that, besides the technicals, why do you suspect that this is going to be a big player?
So yes, like you were saying with the news, how they affect these biotech stocks, Autonomy has just received FDA approval to go forward with a drug trial to create a treatment for Meniere's disease, which is related to vertigo incidents. Actually, 600,000 Americans are affected by Meniere's disease as of today. And as we speak, there's not an FDA-approved treatment for this disease. So Autonomy is actually working on that currently, and they may be one of the first, if not the first, to put this prescription on the market. So that's obviously going to be a very good sign for that company.
Absolutely.
In the future.
Yeah, and of course they've got that sort of niche that they're in right now. It looks like they're one of the good guys here. That looks like they're actually in there to find the cure to help Meniere's disease. But so there you have it. Autonomy Inc. is the play we're looking at right now in the midst of all this biotech sort of chaos that we're going through, and we're looking for it to break above that line of resistance of $3. So Taylor, thank you so much for joining me today. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching the latest episode of WSI TV. Be sure to visit WSITV.com, where you can subscribe for free with no contract and gain instant access to the secrets of self-made millionaires via the WSI TV Vault. So go ahead and claim this gift for free now at WSITV.com.